with Dan Quinn as your head coach, Cliff Kingsbury as your offensive coordinator, why did I just draw it? Joe Witt Jr. as your defensive coordinator, right? And then all the assistants under both of those guys to this point. Would you, if you had an option, stand pat with Dan Quinn and his current coaching staff that you are currently aware of, or would you have still risked, if you were one, and I'm asking really us, but I'm also asking everybody in the chat, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, I can see all of your comments. You let us know. Would you take the gamble with Ben Johnson, the offensive guru, and whoever his staff would have been, or even Mike Macdonald and what his staff could have been, or would you stay pat with what you know now and Dan Quinn and the staff that he has brought in to Washington? And I think that's important because think about what the offensive coordinator would have been for Ben Johnson. And that was a big conversation here when we had Glover Quinn on.
We got to get that right, bro.
We got to, bro.
Glover Quinn Jr.
There it is.
Okay,
Glover.
that's what I thought. There it is.
Yeah, right. I said Glover too for sure. Drake had me saying Glover, bro. It's his fault.
No, you said Glover, bro.
Hey, but like, all right. So what we gonna do? Like, we staying pat with Dan Quinn and his staff, or we taking that gamble and still going for that offensive guru or that young defensive guru and Mike Macdonald? What we doing?
Hey, I mean, I would stay pat with Quinn. You know, like I said, the one objection I kind of feel on the fence about is the Cliff Kingsbury thing, and we'll get more in depth with that. But my biggest concern and what I've always heard in regards to Ben Johnson was his inability to build out a staff that an ownership group could feel comfortable with. I tweeted about that publicly, got backlash from fans, which was funny. But at the end of the day, like, those are important qualities. And I mean, if Dan is going to take a step back, DQ, he's going to take a step back and manage all of these personalities and manage the team and oversee everything. It makes you feel even more comfortable because he'll be able to be hands-on with each element of the football team. But there's no way in hell that if I were the owner, would be comfortable with hearing rumblings that Hank Fraley, your offensive line coach, is possibly going to be your OC. It's like, damn, what else is going to be a part of this staff? Like, I'm cool with what Dan Quinn has done so far. Like I said, he's brought in guys with experience. He's also brought in guys with youth on their side and kept guys with youth like the Pritchards of the world. You bring in a Brian Johnson who has played quarterback at Utah, been a top guy in the NCAA in the past. Also has worked with Jalen Hurts and just recently came off his tenureship as OC with the Eagles, you know, to go alongside Kingsbury and what he has in touch. Like, just being able to get a good feel of the youth of this team, but you still also have elder statesmen that, you know, have been there, done that. So it's a good blend staff-wise so far.
And for me, no, I'm actually going with Quinn as well, knowing what I know now. And not even just because of Ben Johnson and the prospect of whatever he could have done with his staff, but you're kind of seeing that with Mike Macdonald and the Seahawks. I mean, he was another candidate. He was hired late. He was actually hired right before we hired Dan Quinn, and he's still having a hard time filling his staff out. And that's probably because he is a first-time guy
from college too, bro. That's
crazy. He doesn't have many relationships right now. He's pretty much only been in Baltimore as far as the NFL ranks, and Baltimore guys, their staff is staying intact. So who are you kind of bringing with you? And you got to kind of think of that with Ben Johnson as well. Like, who are your relationships with? Who are you going to be able to build a staff? I mean, not even just saying, all right, we're going to build this staff of all-star coaches or whatever, but who are you going to bring in at all right now? Because it seems like you're going to struggle with that because Mike Macdonald showing you that, and we probably would have been going through the same thing with Ben Johnson. So that's the risk you run. So knowing what we know about Quinn now, I mean, I knew that Quinn was well liked. I knew that, you know, Quinn had a good reputation outside of what he did in Atlanta. Like, people, you know, really respected Quinn. but I didn't know his ability to draw in the guys as quickly as he draws in. I mean, we kind of got to know him a bit, we kind of got to know him a bit in the press conference, so we got to kind of see some of that personality on top of what we've been hearing about him. And now we're seeing people follow him. And the great thing about this is, and I know fans we're gonna get more into the position coaches, but I know fans are grumbling about some of them. They like some of them. But the point of the matter is these names he's bringing in, they're from all different types of backgrounds. As AJ said earlier, it's not like the Ron Rivera buddy hire system. You got to figure, regardless of what you think about a guy and, what he did at a previous stop, that they are hiring guys that are impressing them. And that's what I want. That's what I want you to be impressed by the guys that you're bringing in versus, hey, I can have a laugh with this guy, or I trust this guy, I know him from this place, he's going to do this. No, they're bringing in people that are saying, hey, they must be bringing something to the table. They must be aligning with the vision, whatever they're trying to accomplish. But they're coming from different backgrounds. Like I said, a lot of these guys, they don't have working relationships with, the Cliff Kingsbury. And I love what, like I said, Dan Quinn has said about Cliff Kingsbury before. He said, that guy's offense gave me trouble when I had the game plan against him. And I said, if I ever have a chance, I would love to bring him as my offensive coordinator. That's the type of stuff you like to see from a head coach. I mean, he's not coming in with an ego. He's bringing in guys that can challenge him. He's bringing in guys that he respects as a competitor. So, I mean, you're seeing that. And that, to me, that's winning me. Whatever I thought about Dan Quinn when he got hired, whether, he was going to be a failure because he was a retread or he didn't do well here, whatever the case may be, he's winning me over seeing the people that he's bringing in, because I'm saying these people respect him. And also the way he's bringing them in, they are impressing him and they are aligning with the rest of the staff. So, yeah, give me the Dan Quinn over the mystery of what a Ben Johnson could have provided.